This is Shaka Shakur. I originally wrote this piece and I started writing this piece in 2011. Finished it in 2012. I didn't update it because I figured it'd take away from the texture of the piece. But the piece is called My Son, the Thinking Cross. Homicide, still raw. Said, I would think that after 11 years, the pain, the memories, the sadness, the simmering rage would have abated by now. Can I breathe? Can I grieve? Can I live? When it's still raw. I would think that the daily bombardment of that day, that night would stop its assault on my senses. Still raw. I would think that the nightmares, the repeated replaying of that night, the what-ifs and the should-haves would have stopped by now. And yet, can I breathe? Can I grieve? Can I live? When it's still raw. I would think by now the tears of sorrow, of sadness and rage would have dried up by now. I would think that the thirst for justice, for vengeance, the thirst for just a peace of mind would have come to pass by now. And yet, it's still raw. I would think that after 11 years of being on the edge of madness, of 11 years of hanging off the ledge, the cliff of insanity by my fingertips, that I would have been able to claw and crawl my way back to a balance of mind. And yet, can I breathe? Can I grieve? Can I live? When it's still raw. I still remember that day like it was today or yesterday. My path to self-destruction. This the day before my birthday on August 18th, 2001. My son and only biological child, Mark Stephen Leslie, also known as Jela Simba Shakur, was murdered by 2 shotgun blasts to the back by cowards. My son was the 51st homicide victim for that year in Gary, Indiana. Jela was killed over something as simple as a joke by someone he had been playing basketball and video games with all day. So my was a friend. Can I breathe? Can I grieve? Can I live? And it's still raw. And it's still raw. After playfully joking with each other in front of a girl or girls in an argument ensuing, he was shot in the back while trying to walk away. Approximately 30 minutes before Jela was murdered, he called me on my cell and asked me to come pick him up. I could hear arguing in the background. I asked him, was he okay? And he said, yeah, just come to get me. I told him I was on the way home to change clothes and would be to get him shortly. Can I breathe? 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 When it's still raw. He never let on that he was in any kind of danger or the urgency of the matter. Pride wouldn't allow him to. As I walked in the house about 20 or 30 minutes later, I was being handed the phone with his mother crying and saying into the phone, Mickey has been shot, and in the next breath saying, Shaka, he is gone, he is gone, he is gone, he is gone, he is gone. While a friend and I raced to the scene, his mother's words played in my head over and over. Shaka, he is gone. Can I breathe? Can I grieve? Can I live? 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 When it's still raw. And yet it didn't register arriving on the scene. It was like an out-of-body experience, so surreal. You had a huge crowd of 50 or 60 people, mostly young people, police everywhere. And as I exited my vehicle and walked through and into the front of the crowd, looking full of times of his mother, I found her brother, and his wife standing approximately 15 or 20 feet from my son, who was laying uncovered, face down in a pool of blood, clearly dead on the ground. Can I breathe? Can I grieve? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? Can I live? When it's still raw. My emotional reaction was delayed. I felt a tremendous loss, but I felt like he is gone. That's not him. My mind was bombarded with a million thoughts, and as I gazed around the scene, taking in the laughing and smiling cops in various huddles, as I scanned the crowd's violent faces, I walked up to a cop and asked to speak with the commanding officer, who came and I asked if they could cover his body, and then I began to calm the crowd and crime scene, doing my own investigation. I knew more in 30 minutes about the murder of my son than the police knew in 6 months. And it was at that point I not only declared war, but I officially lost my way in my mind. Can I breathe? When it's still raw. Can I breathe? When it's still raw.